What is up, aka Padders? Good morning. I am Peter A. DeLuca, aka Pad, aka the Pop Culture Pope, aka Sexual Chocolate. I am here to talk to you about Star Wars: The Force Awakens. I'll take you back to 2015 and tell you the grand story of my experience watching this movie for the first time and some insights on its lasting impression. Let's rock and roll and hit that intro. Holy crap. Okay, it's time for a plug. It's time for a plug, everyone. Ready? If you're listening to this, subscribe. If you're listening to this, leave me a comment. I don't care. Good, bad. I need feedback. I'm trying to create a feedback loop, make this thing better. I need you. You, a part of the AKAPAD army. Jump on board. Let's rock and roll. Okay, with that being said, oh my God. I don't know if I could continue talking like that for like every single episode. It's so fake to me. The radio voice, the radio speed, the radio cadence. Anyway, but yeah, so we're talking Star Wars and 2015. This movie, unpopular opinion, that's a very common thing to say. To me, this is what I feel is the best Star Wars movie, and it's pretty much my favorite. One of the reasons why this is my favorite, because I absolutely love the music for it, and I love the Force Awakens design work. For them to kind of reset things just on a visual level, the way that they did, and by reset things, I mean when this trailer hit, okay, it lit minds on fire. It brought that imagination back. It brought that hopefulness back. Hopefulness within the story, not for the franchise. And by that I mean that Star Wars should somewhat be this utopian. And there should be a beacon of hope, which is so significant to why Luke Skywalker is like draped in white in New Hope. Okay? That's episode 4. And he's surrounded by, everything that's being withered away and broken, and things aren't perfect. We see that with the droids. We see that with the Jawas. He doesn't live in a Taj Mahal. And then, we go to the cantina. Again, it's a dive bar. The worst of the worst go there, and then we're brought into the realm of the Empire, where everything is sleek, cornered, polished, controlled. Visually, that's a home run. They made a bet with that, and it probably resonated on a higher level than anyone involved with that production anticipated. And we got a taste of that with the Force Awakens trailers. We got, seeing the relics of Jakku, the fallen Star Destroyer, the fallen X-Wing fighter. The way how we're introduced to Rey in the early scene, relatively, I believe, second scene of that movie. The journey of Rey, or the day of Rey, which is still one of the best in all the movies. And she's not living this perfect life. She is an orphan. She's by herself. And there's a want. She's perfectly established and set up. Completely interesting. And her being very soft on the eyes doesn't hurt either, because I think it adds to it, believe it or not. Because we got to think back to Mark Hamill. Dreamy. Just dreamy looking with those big baby blue eyes and moppy, dirty hair. It's perfect. California boy. Coming at you, boy. So, we saw all of these things in the trailer. And the trailer, was hey, we have a new Vader. Hey, we have kind of a new Han Solo. Hey, we're doing something different here. Because everyone went wild with that initial trailer for Force Awakens when we saw Finn, a black man, in a stormtrooper uniform. People lost their minds. This eventually led to a $2 billion take in Force Awakens. Now, with inflation, that doesn't even come close to measuring up what the old movies did. Again, if we compare it to Gone with the Wind, Gone with the Wind just destroys it. So, whatever. But it does well, and it gets repeat viewing. And the mysteries set in this movie carry on. They carry on for about 2 years, where pretty much a industry within YouTube spurs up, comes from the roots, forces itself through the soil, and blooms many accounts. Even Collider, who just closed their Jedi Council, that kind of came up during this time. Collider pretty much was built on Star Wars theory. And these theories were amazingly set up. Maybe some of the best in film history. The best in storytelling history. The Knights of Ren, Snoke, exactly what's happening Finn. The Finn and Rey relationship. Are they going to get together? How did Han Solo lose the Falcon? What happened with Ben Solo? Who is Ben Solo? Who's Kylo Ren? Who is Snoke? Luke Skywalker. The idea that Luke Skywalker is not in this movie and he's revealed at the very end, in the last scene of the movie, very significant. And, we do have other mysteries. So some of them are or story threads of Rey's parentage. They're just escaping me because I'm rambling. So when I say that this is the best Star Wars movie, I'm speaking on the idea. And I got this, it just happened to me twice, because I watched episodes 1 through 6, I think 3 times with three separate girls. 3 separate girls that were very much unfamiliar. And look, that's part drinking, eating crappy food, and, doing adult things. And of these 3 times, two of these girls, completely unrelated to one another, as they should be, looked at me and they said, while we were watching the prequels, episodes 1, 2, and 3, is this Star Wars? Is this making fun of Star Wars? Because if you haven't seen the movies, you have this idea of what a Star Wars movie is. And that's the point I'm getting at. You have this impression from what you've seen, because Star Wars is, you buy a bag of Ziploc bags, you have a Star Wars logo. And it's very similar to Rocky versus Rocky 4. Rocky being the first one. And we watch Rocky, and, Stallone in that movie, he is, somewhat brain damaged. He's a loser. He kind of has no hope. He can barely talk to a girl. Barely hold a job. Doesn't even have a legit job. And we go on this hero's journey with him, where he doesn't even win at the end. He just goes the distance with Apollo Creed. And you would watch that, and you're like, is this a Rocky movie? What's happening here? But if you watch Rocky 4, and you just set it up to where, hey, Apollo Creed, former champion, Rocky beat him, okay, and Apollo is now training Stallone, and Apollo is in a, he wants to get back in the game. He's anxious to get back in the game. He's tired of sitting around because he's still an athlete. He still thinks he's an athlete. That's the setup for Rocky 4. Then we watch that movie, and the way how Stallone shot the boxing matches, the training montages, the music, you would watch that and you'd be like, this is a Rocky movie. And then, you'd be like, well, the other ones are a lot of melodrama in the other ones. Not drama, period. But when you have the impression of a Rocky movie, it's Rocky 4. When you have the impression of a Star Wars movie, it's The Force Awakens, with all the mysteries and side tangents aside. And that's why it's important. Now, Force Awakens has, right now, as of the time of this recording, episode 275, shout out. it's been destroyed, okay? Because the weight of Last Jedi and the weight of Rise of Skywalker has completely crushed the hope, pun intended, of what Force Awakens was and shadowed its impact. To me, it is Star Wars through and through. The idea that they blow up another giant weapon, I don't know. I mean, I always viewed to me, the rebels and the resistance, they're terrorists. Terrorists blow things up. That's what they are. They're not a mobilized movement. Now, there's a cut scene taken out of the movie that kind of establishes a little bit more of the resistance within the Senate. And I so wish that scene was cut into the movie. This is why I'm advocating so much for Star Wars special editions of the new trilogy, episodes 7, 8, and 9. But that's probably another recording. So I saw this movie about, I think it was 3-4 times. Each time I saw it with a different woman. Each time I saw it, had very nice adult time around each viewing of the movie. Very nice, very good memories. Even to the point of, I believe, like someone either liked or retweeted one of my tweets about it, and I don't want to say it was JJ, but maybe someone related to the movie. So, hey, whenever you get a Twitter interaction, that's big news. Yeah, so, and the reason why I saw this movie with so many different women, because, it was a thing to do. It was a thing to go see Star Wars. It was kind of cool, because now we kind of have two generations of people that grew up with Star Wars. And it was a thing to do. So, it just added to the experience for me. And I was able to see it with so many different women because, heartbreak here really just had my heart shattered by this one girl. We were in maybe like a 4 or 5 year long relationship. I was actively trying to increase and better my life. So, we could have a good engagement. We could have a nice engagement party. And I was trying to do all these other things outside, outside my life to enable that and to make that happen. So, she dropped this bomb on me, and seeing Star Wars at that point with my family, and it has become a family tradition following Rise of Skywalker. We saw 5 Disney Star Wars movies together, and we were not even doing anything close to that up until that point. Very significant, and quite meaningful to me. And Star Wars became a part of our family. Now, we don't sit down and debate Star Wars. We barely talk about it after we see the movies. But, there's a few weeks build up going into it, and it's a lot of fun, a lot of anticipation, a lot of angst, and just childlike excitement. So I do owe Force Awakens a lot for that. And, am I inflicting a little bit too much onto the movie? I don't think so, because I do not put Rise of Skywalker and Last Jedi within ranking even near Force Awakens. Okay? I'm sorry, I don't. And, the time of me being recently single and finding new people to connect with, and kind of Star Wars being a conduit for that, again, too, also around Star Wars, too, I deeply reconnected with one of my grade school friends. And it's a little bit of a mystery, but I think he was going through something. And we were using this anticipation to see Force Awakens to really do, I think for both of us, next level stuff at the gym. Him cutting weight, and me optimizing more of my lifting and, bodybuilding and growing more of my body out. Very significant, again, meaningful, significant. So for me, Force Awakens is the Star Wars movie. It really is. And a lot of times when I make a list, I like to like pull away from the obvious number ones. Okay, when we talk about the MCU movies, okay, I get it. Winter Soldier's the best one, blah, 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 blah. When we talk about a Star Wars movie, I get Empire Strikes Back is the best one, blah, 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 blah. You know, like at one time, when we, discuss James Bond movies, I get it. And Her Majesty's Secret Service is, blah, 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 blah. Because that was the oddball one that everyone would put at number one. And I don't like obvious number ones. I like nuanced number ones. And whatever that number one is, put it 2 or 3. But have a reason for it. Don't just be contrarian just to be contrarian. But that's my episode 7 Star Wars experience. And I bet you guys didn't think I was going to go all that, go that deep, but I did. Look, episode 276. We're gonna be doing a Star Wars story, Rogue One. This is the first of the Disney, because Disney has now purchased Lucasfilm at this time. But we're going to go into their first spin-off, side story, slipstream, whatever you want to call it, side quest, Star Wars movie that doesn't take place within the saga. But technically this does, so whatever. It's just confusing. I'll explain it next episode. Until then, rock and roll, and thank you for joining me. I really did enjoy this talk. I'll talk to you later.